Well, well, here we go again. Hi there. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings, Wednesday night, the 18th of March, 2026. It's nice to have you with us. Three of our very loyal regulars are starting us off. There's Nonstick Pam, Donley, Hi Jack, and everyone. Ms. Elaine Peterson from the state of Washington. Hey, Jack, I love you. I bet you say that to all the good looking boys. Well, at least there was a time when I was in the game. I wasn't the A list, but I was, on the list. You know what I mean? I didn't always realize that at the time, though. Oh, you know how men think. Always got a mind in the gutter. At least we used to, but we're all fixed now. Yeah, right. Hello, Tammy with an I, Tammy Griffin, not to be confused with Dr. Griffin, my dentist who's been dead for 40 years. No, not him. Hello, Neo is here, didn't get notified. People are saying that now. I don't know why. I don't know why I love you like I do. Uh, so I don't know, you know me. Look into it, Neo, will you? But went looking. You went fishing, huh? We'll be here after commercials. They start off with that right away. He's always got these ads. He must, I don't know. For some reason, they got it in for him. Nancy and in memoriam, Terry Whitmore is here. Hi, Jack and family. Hello. Well, my goodness, Marty Greco. Happy hump day, Jack and all. Oh, I used to. No, everything I'm saying, I'm censoring in real time, Marty. Hey, don't you tempt me. Yes, over the hump, meaning Wednesday, the middle of the week kind of thing. Really, the first day of the week is Sunday, right? Not everybody looks at it like that, but the Seventh day Adventists do. Yes, and our Jewish brothers and sisters. Messianic Jews would be literally our brothers and sisters at this time if you happen to be a Christian. And what kind of jam? Strawberry. Somebody's making strawberry jam, or am I going to just have to figure you out? Nancy DeMarco. Fancy Nancy DeMarco from Oklahoma. Did you escape the tornadoes? Did you make it to the root cellar in time? Was your dress a blowing? And let's see. Yeah, you get a lot of ads too. Let's see here. Helen McDonald from Australia. Hi, Jack and all. We do have a lot of topics tonight, including Bob Joyce. But the reason I have Bob Joyce is not because I have breaking news, but because we had a lot of response. So that's why. There will be shows where I won't put them in the headline at all. And there will be shows when we have something. And I was never indicating that I'm abandoning the topic. I'm just not going to, say I do 11 or 12 shows a month with pre-recorded videos included, which are going to get harder for me to do for a while. It depends. It depends how the story moves. But if I do that, I don't want the title in every single show and a thumbnail of Pastor Bob. I don't think he wants that. But when it's warranted, it's warranted, But as Rick Nelson sang in the song Garden Party, if memories are all I sang, I'd rather drive a truck. Well, I'm too old to drive a truck now. I leave that to my son. He drives a truck 5 days a week. But the other way of saying it is if Bob Joyce is all they care about, I'd rather work at In-N-Out Burger. That's not true either. That's not true either. Well, I don't have an In-N-Out Burger, so it'd be a long commute. There's no In-N-Out Burger anywhere around me, no Whataburger, no Culver's. That's the one I really care about. I don't know why, but there just isn't. It's an East Coast Midwest thing. We got no Bucky's. It's Suckies. I tell you that, Marty. I'll tell you that, Marty McFly. Um, so you got to get YouTube Premium at $13.99 to avoid all ads, and I know that's a chunk of change because you have other things. Well, Spencer for Hire. Hi, TS, not TS Eliot. Hello, all. Welcome, TS. Donna, hi, Jack and everyone. I got the message you are on, so that's good. Somebody got it. Uh, Neo's bell is on the fridge. Okay. Jam-packed show. Now I got it. So I asked if the jam was strawberry. Well, that would not be my favorite. It depends what I'm having. If I'm having my buttered wheat toast with 2 or 3 eggs over easy with the home fries at the Colonial Diner, for example, I just usually 3 of my slices of toast of the 4, I will use the Schmucker's grape jelly packet. For the 4th one, it could be marmalade because now I'm feeling exotic, and or it could be strawberry. Could be strawberry. I like strawberry jam. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the one I usually go to. I mean, I don't have a peanut butter and strawberry jam sandwich. I don't. So we usually stock the grape jam. That's right, jam, not jelly. Get the jam. It's better. It's better. Don't get the Jello instant pudding. It's crap. It's crap. Oh, but Jello chocolate cook and serve pudding. That's a bit of heaven right there. Oh yeah. I don't care really about I would love somebody whipping me up fresh whipped cream, but I'm fine with Cool Whip because that chocolate Jello cook and serve pudding, that's good stuff. But boy, it put weight on your cheeks and everything. These cheeks here. Let's see. Grape is yummy. It sure is. Neo ads love you. I guess they do. So you don't experience that kind of. Oh, that's right. You told me, Marty, you have YouTube Premium, right? Well, Hockey 92.7 FM. Good evening, Jack and everyone. I hope Wednesday was good to all. We didn't do much today. It was, like 30 degrees, and right now it's still about 30, 31. It's going to warm up a little tomorrow, and, have some decent daytime temperatures. Cold last night. Was it Monday night? Was our night for high winds to come in around 11:30 at night. So Andy went to bed. He's as a night watchman. He doesn't do tragedy, so he just goes to bed. Those are the nights he's sleeping. Just the way it is. I don't know. But anyway, I was up, of course, and it got pretty wild out there for a little while, but then it calmed down real fast, real fast. So we got Jackie and we got Helen McDonald from Australia, and we've got a little clip on Australian secrets. You guys know about the APY lands? The APY lands? Have you ever visited? You have to have, you just don't go on invited, I'll tell you that. You got to have a permit or something to go visit the APY lands. I have a picture of some of the people that live there, and we'll talk a little about part one of something we'll do from time to time, Australian secrets. Got an NBC poll. Just going to mention the poll because when you hear a poll that you've never heard in your lifetime, you got to mention it. And the fact that it's an NBC poll, I was really shocked. But we won't berate you or bombard you with politics tonight. I don't make any blanket promises, like I didn't make any blanket promises with Elvis. Or is it Bob Joyce? Who's more popular in 2026? And I got a Jim Baker clip because last week, probably on the Saturday night show, people were talking about Jim and Lori Baker. Is Lori still around? She's still around. they're still taping shows in Branson, Missouri. He had a stroke and he was away for a while. It wasn't too severe, but it's funny because now he's that loud grandpa and everybody's kind of tense because you never know what wild grandpa will say, or if he'll say it right, and this is Christian television, and he's got a co-host besides his wife, and they're all if he says something that's a little out there, they swoop in to try to you know clean it up, and it's kind of funny. Annette Turner, hello from the chilly sunny Gulf Coast. There's that Gulf Coast again. Yeah, I'll have to study up on the Gulf Coast. I have to. Jody Smith is here. Even Jack just got back. Evening Jack, not even Jack. Even now, when we have come so far. You just got back from dinner, so it's your night off. Very, very good. Or your day off that sometimes goes into the night, depending on what time zone you're in. Hijacking everyone from a sunny, warm day in Australia. Yeah, we're ready for that. We're ready for warm temperatures. Kate Klein Stuber is here too. Hi, Jack, bringing us up to 39, and I didn't even bring the wine. I'm sorry. Don't really like wine. Spent a lot of time trying to convince myself I did, except for that one white wine I talk about that Karen has once or twice a year, whatever it's called. I think it's called Maniscalco, Sebastian Maniscalco. Jody Smith hits the thanks button. I guess you hit the ask button, and that leads to the thanks button, right? It's so weird. I don't know why, but she hits the thanks button in beautiful turquoise for $2, and I appreciate that very, very much. Here's Buddy McDaniel. I bet you're going to be sending me that song soon, aren't you? And that would indicate, well, you can indicate in the email, Jack the Fair Guy, F-A-I-R, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com, if you are wanting me to play it in a pre-recorded video. I can't play anything musical live. They will cut it in real time. You'll never hear it. I'll hear it. You won't. And it's a downer. It's a downer because it would make the show that much better. We could have a lot of fun with that. We could have a lot of fun. So I hope that somehow that YouTube comes up with a way to get a blanket license, a limited blanket license to a live stream, and that you pay them a certain amount a month to be part of that community. I don't know if it's possible, but it would be wonderful. And look at that. After turquoise, Jody Smith hits the thanks button again in midnight blue. $1. It's not baby blue, right? That's midnight blue. It's your whoa, man. Here, put your hand on the radio. Thank you, Jody Smith, the great encourager. APY lands are in the middle of Australia. That's what this guy's going to say. Very hot and dry, home to many indigenous people. Research what? I got to do with abbreviations here. Oh, in other words, you want me to know more about it. Well, this gentleman would just explain a very little bit, but I didn't know about it until I was said, let me do something for the Australian people, because we have three that are usually here and then a couple that come in the replay. So, a couple of guys out there. Miles Wright is here. Hi, Bob and everyone. Who's Bob? Is he watching and I missed it? Did I miss Pastor Bob? Miles Wright. Say hello to Judy Wright, Brenda Gaskill. Hi, Jack and everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, well, let's, we're, how many minutes in? We're coming up on 14 minutes in. So I'll wait to exactly 15 minutes in. I can write that because I didn't do it last time. "15 minutes in BJ content." Okay. Bayou Girl. Hello, Jack and family from Louisiana. You get your share of tornadoes too, and Ford Torinos, I believe, right? I won't see what you're writing as I go to another screen. So I've got more tabs open than was has been drunk. I still it wasn't that long ago. I saw they still have tabs somewhere. I've got a lot of tabs open, so let's see what we got here, and then we can close a few. We'll be talking about Melissa Gilbert. Is she involved in her alleged hubby's crimes? Question mark. She's gotten the attention of Megan Kelly, which is never someone you want to tangle with, I would say. But see, I got so many. I'm looking here. Um, okay, it would be over here. It would be over here. And our channel, The Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, Depressed, and Downtrodden. That's the title I gave it. 700 videos up exactly right now. 700 videos for you to choose from. Everything on Bob Joyce you would ever want to see. And we're doing content starting at 15 minutes in here. And we talk about, we'll go right to the live show to get the exact title because my short-term memory is not the best. Your Bob Joyce comments: was Melissa Gilbert involved with Hubby's alleged crimes? Question mark. And the other stuff that I told you that we're going to be trying to touch on. So let's see. We did that video. I actually taped this right after we did the Saturday night show, which went for almost 2.5 hours. I relaxed and all off the top of my head, I did major change in the Bob Joyce story approach. Maybe that was too strong of a word, major. And it wasn't the original title. The original title wasn't working. So when you don't, have, I was just thinking up another funny bit. When you don't have the title right, you change it. And we talk about the May 22nd concert in Cabot, Arkansas. In the video, I say Cabot, Maine. I just got Maine on the brain, just like Elaine, who has never been to Spain. I just got Maine, think about Maine. And needing to get back there on one of our cheapo vacations in July. And so I got Maine on the brain, and I said twice, at least I said Cabot, Maine, and I don't know why. But it's, of course, Cabot, Arkansas, May 22nd, Bob Joyce in concert. We'll be talking about that as well. All that stuff remains, all your comments and questions, nothing censored there. It's just that a little bit less. Let's let the pastor, have a break once in a while. And I don't want to have this crutch where I absolutely have to put his face in the thumbnail and do some story. If I don't have something that I feel good about, and it's important to me to be able to do a live show, to do even a pre-recorded video, although that could be that could be a pursuit into the to the why'd you bother territory. But nevertheless, a creator must create more than one thing, and we'll see what we come up with. But I would, I always say I'm not a one-trick pony because we've got the live shows here. So got quite a bit of response to that, both in, there I am right there. You say I'm too much, Jack Willard. So let's see here. First of all, we thank Lana Dye for hitting the thanks button there in that video. Jane Justice checked in. Lana said, God bless you. God will provide if you follow what he puts on your heart. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I started to feel that it's time to expand, not to abandon the chronological story, not to keep you updated, but not to try to feel that I always have to do it, If some of our live shows are less successful, and they will be, if some of our pre-recorded videos are less successful, and they will be, that's okay. When we have something, though, we'll go balls to the wall with it, I promise you. She says you would be welcomed at Household of Faith. That is my opinion based on the times I have visited the church. Remembering, though, that, this sounds egotistical, but you're not Jack Willard. You haven't been annoying this man since 2018, potentially. God calls on us to come as we are so Pastor Bob can throw us in the mud. And I believe Pastor Bob walks in his faith, and I do too. And that's another reason I don't want to badger him. It's one thing to badger it via private jet, only $21,000. I could go from here to Pflugerville, Texas, I'm told. My son told me, which is just near where he lives. It's an executive airport. I'll just put on a suit. They'll think I'm an executive. And 21,000 each way, something like that. Meal catered to beautiful leather seats, just me and a few other people. Oh, it'd be great. What a deal. Leave from Stewart Airport instead of dealing with Newark. Well, you can't go down there now. That's another story. But anywhere you're going to have a problem. But it seems like the people that take private jets, they have a separate, they must have a separate place for them to check in. They don't go through the regular lines in the airport, and they just walk right onto the plane on the field. Yeah. So thank you for that. Um, Let's see here. I'm looking in real time. Hi, Jay Pogera. He was here. Hi, Jack. Just do your best. That's what I want to do, Jay. I want to do my best and not rest on my laurels and not always, do the same thing. Like people have seen me show some pictures many times, and there's new people that come in and they don't understand the story or they're curious about the story. They can also be hostile to the story. I understand that, but uh, so you have to accommodate people that are sometimes um, brand new to the story. The whole story is interesting. Hugs. So I just learned that probably Jay Pogera is a woman, but I don't know that to be a fact. Grace Giabardo. Why don't you begin a Bible study? And after rambling, and leave Pastor Bob alone. Okay, so I got some of this too. The the Bob Joyce protectors, the elf protectors. No, I don't get elf protectors. Nobody cares about the elves. I'm sorry, they don't. I think Will Farrell ruined the whole elf thing. I think he ruined it with his silly, stupid themes. But I usually do speak good of him, Grace, but I've never seen you before. You look like Karen's friend Grace, a nice blonde woman. So you are a very nice man. I thought you hated me. Who cares how old Pastor Bob is? Lots of people. God is who we want to focus on. Well, this cannot become a Christian Bible study at this time because God hasn't told me to do it. First of all, second of all, many of the audience that I have here is not going to want worldwide ramblings to turn into a Bible study. It's a time of relaxing and visiting, what have you. That would have to be a separate program with a better title than Worldwide Ramblings. You know what I mean? Um, and since I am not TD Jakes and I am not Franklin Graham or whoever you want to say would be a good teacher, I've expressed who my favorite teachers were in the past. It would garnish a tenth. Now, every creator wants to garnish more than a tenth. I don't want the channel to nosedive, but and I explained that when I began the channel, the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, I did more spiritual videos then, and I'm still willing to do them now, certainly, if God gives me something to share. Back then, I called myself for a while Pastor Allen. Allen is my middle name, Jack Allen Willard. Um, but they didn't get much attention. And I started to really think about that scripture that says that those who preach will be called to a higher account. And since I've never felt my walk was strong enough to have a title like that, I I decided I would just change the Pastor Allen stuff to I'm someone who shares when I feel God is impressing something on my heart. We do prayer request here, and we end every show with Bible reading. Okay, so it wouldn't work. Is what I'm saying, unless God ordains it, and then He'll let me know, and it'll just be Him, and then it'll work because it's Him doing it and not me trying something. You know what I mean? Angel X, God bless your videos and you and Karen. Hello, Angel X. He checked in. Um, I love the variety, says Nancy, and love your insights and opinions on all things relevant in our world. Well, it's interesting that you say that because there will be 2 or 3 people that will really not like it, and I can't program to them, but I can respect them by not berating a particular point over and over. I understand that. We heard from Pam, and let's see. Anna says she's been part of the replay crowd for a little while since I work the night shift. I know all about that. Um, anyway, I have a suggestion, if that's okay with you. I listen to Biblical Prophecy and Prophets. There is one in particular. They mention someone very well known, including to people here. And, I actually responded to that. They probably responded back. Um, and you can see it. I'm not going to put it over the air, but you can see it here in the comment section of this video, which is only 20 minutes. Major change in the Bob Joyce story approach. And we talk about other things, including the May 22nd concert in Cabot, Arkansas, with Pastor Bob Joyce. Let's see here. Nancy was more direct. That's Nancy Kurtanik. Everyone that watches Pastor Bob, listens to him preach and teaches. He does give us a hint sometimes as to who he used to be, and she comes to the final conclusion he is Elvis. We heard from Faith Lloyd with words of encouragement. Neo suggests some topics. I'm not going to be doing a cooking show, though. I'd have to have an overhead cam. You have to have an overhead cam if you're doing a cooking show. Okay, here's one that I wanted to comment in. G4 CAB, in other words, G4 cab. I've never heard from this person that I can remember in my lifetime. He has reached out to you more than once, asking you to, in caps, stop reporting on him and his life. I know this firsthand. So why don't you find something else to report on? He's got me like a news reporter. So part of that's good that he thinks of me that way, but I'm really not that. I wrote first, I said, no, he has never reached out to me. That's true. That offer was made beginning in 2018. If the pastor, I asked for a video call because I had to know who I was talking to. I have to look real close too, perhaps. That's another story. I was told firsthand that Sabrina and Bob have both asked you numerous times to stop. That's totally untrue, but I don't know if they care about that. I said I've never had the pleasure of speaking to Pastor Bob Joyce. I reached out many times, emailed back and forth with Sabrina a few years ago. She told me there was only one Bob Joyce. In other words, the two Bob Joyce theory that we talk about, Robert Wayne Joyce, who'd be about 73, and Pastor Bob Joyce, who could be possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing, 91. So She told me that there was only one Bob Joyce. She never asked me to change anything. She invited me to the church, as did others in the inner circle. I have the emails. So, um, that's a story there. Julia Joyce said, I guess no relation. I hate to admit that I am a bit obsessed with Pastor Bob and the whole story. I love Pastor Bob. I hate to think he is sad with all the attention that's upsetting. That's upsetting to me if he were sad. He looked sad on the beginning of the March 8th sermon, don't you think? He looked, and he may not have felt well. You never know. I got to watch the whole sermon, though, because in the beginning I thought, wow, he's downtrodden, but he'll get up there because I know he knows that uh, it would uh, it would be imperative for him to seek the Lord and get out of any funk should he be in one. But that was just my impression. He seemed a little out of sorts in the beginning. So I don't see how he could be sad with the attention when he's the creator of the attention. Him and John Cook back in 2011. They're the creator of this whole thing happening. If you're wanting to keep a low profile and just be a small town pastor in a rural community of Arkansas, you don't go international on YouTube. He knew, of course, he knew what the reaction would be to that. And but it's been contained all these years. That was 2011 when that started. I didn't even know about it to 2018. And then the amazing part of the story is it's been a contained reaction, even though there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and there's a lot of people that come to the church because of it. Hopefully they meet the Holy Spirit when they're there, and that's the most important reason to go to church. It's human nature to want to meet the pastor and speak with him briefly after the service, of course. um I truly want him to preach and to reach millions of people to teach us about the Lord. I guess I'm guilty of wanting a happy ending for Elvis, but Pastor Bob is far more important. I agree. I want, when the time comes, that he also has a happy ending. Your video made me think I need to be more supportive of Pastor Bob's situation. Love your show, Jack. That's Julia Joyce. All right. Superhero said, Superhero Kid, you are always welcome at Household of Faith. I personally don't feel Pastor Bob was talking about you. There are always many fake sites spreading lies and making scam posts. I'm aware of this, collecting money claiming to be Pastor Bob. They are selling bogus concert tickets and just collecting so-called offerings. One fake site was collecting 25K for a new piano for Pastor Bob. He's got plenty of pianos. I appreciate you defending him in recent attacks against him and taking a stand against evil liars. While I don't necessarily call anyone an evil liar, I just I had to I ascertained and I feel that what I was feeling led to do, which was affirm that um, no pastor is required to face the demands of anybody in the congregation. They investigate, they're required to do that, take it to the elders. I assume there's elders at Household of Faith. Pray about it and then do as God would have him do. And if that's not up to the liking of those who accuse, well, that's too bad. You have to go with what you feel is right in your heart. So there's that. Um, got a nice comment in this video we're talking about from Anne. I'm from the Netherlands. Yes, every once in a while we hear from the Netherlands. I'm a a hard Elvis fan since I was a little girl, and my mom was too. Stumbled on this channel 2 or 3 years ago, and that led her to start watching Pastor Bob Joyce. Just like watching this channel has brought many people in to Household of Faith. Back to where I can see you again. And by the way, I heard from someone in the inner source saying that I would be welcome to come to the church. So see if I can make that happen. I would love to be able to do that. But the idea of going the I don't know, 1,600 miles plus, and then going on to Texas, driving and coming back, that's a lot. That's a lot, especially with the XYZ drivers out there. It's a lot more dangerous than obviously flying. So, Anne is leaving already. Well, I'm glad at least you stopped by, Anne Turner. Carmen Sylvia is here from New Zealand. Welcome. Welcome, Carmen Sylvia Official, that is. Miles Wright is telling Jackie a visit to Ozland is on my bucket list. And seeing what else. I don't see the problem with questioning Pastor Bob maybe being Elvis. Nothing is as it seems, so anything is possible. Okay. Jack, as I've said, before I think he is, and I think they know he is, as I say, I'm not reading it with the right emphasis. As I've said before, I think he is, and I think they know he is. Well, yeah, they would. My question is, when is that documentary coming out? Will it be fibbed as to appease certain people? Yeah, I've had all those questions go in my head as to how far, not using the word fib, Pastor Bob doesn't want to be involved in that. But this is one of those wild topics where we don't know exactly what to say. We don't know what to say. We have to fly blind sometimes. We have to fly blind. Sometimes, though, I will hear from an inside source explaining something key, but not always. Not always. They're all busy people. Matt doesn't look like Elvis at all. I agree with that, I guess. Yeah, I agree with that. But when he puts on the costume and the wig and everything, he kind of does a little bit, So, you can use help to have the look. So let's see here. We have 75 watching right now. If I missed you, I don't mean to. A warm howdy from Montana from Pam Inslee. Yes, yes, yes. Very, very nice. And we will be on Saturday night. That's my 70th birthday, Saturday night. Just a few days left to sing. I'm in my 60s. But me, Matthew Broderick, Rosie O'Donnell, the late Eddie Money, and a lot of other people that you might know of are having a birthday Saturday. And the big 7-0, which is just, I don't know how to wrap my head around that, but that's happening Saturday. The plan is, now I know Karen ordered my traditional birthday cake. She ordered the pineapple whipped cream, yellow cake, pineapple whipped cream cake from D. Filippi's. D. Filippi's. And when she called, they answered the phone, D. Filippis. It's mostly Latinos now, although run by Hasidic Jews, not Italians, but the Italians are the ones baking in the back, so they're still there. I mean, when the Hasidic Jewish gentleman bought D. Filippi's, he was very quick to talk to the staff and say, please don't go. Raise this for everybody. I need you. I can't do it without you. You can tell me what your concerns are, all that. All right. So they stayed. And some of them have been there a long time. A long time. Jack, welcome to the 70s. So you're already there, Miles Wright, executive estate preparer. Yeah, you're already there, huh? Well, I'm not quite there yet, but I am soon gonna, um, I'm going to make that, plunge into, I'll save that for Saturday night, what I was gonna say. Judy Wright is here too. I think Matt looks like cousin Billy. Ah, Billy Smith, yes. I don't know. I'm, I know the Memphis Mafia Kid, Billy's son, better because I see him more. But Billy, he's getting up there, right? He's probably in his 80s, is he? Him and the missus? So, yeah. Um, I think Matt Joyce definitely looks like Tom Joyce. I'll say that. I'll say that. I don't think either one of them look like Elvis or Pastor Bob Joyce. How's that? CM Trucker is here. Are you a retired trucker, CM? Where are you now? There you are. It's Jenkies after dark. It's Jenkies. What the heck does that mean? And you put dark in capitals. You know, I love capitals myself. You see, my titles are often all caps and stuff like that. Somebody says it seems like you're yelling at me when you write to me and use caps. So I try not to do it too much, but sometimes you just gotta. Jack, 70s music is the best. Well, that's where I grew up. Um, I got a little taste of obviously, I got more than a little taste of the Beatles and the Stones. My mom had those albums. So Gary Lewis and the Playboys and Peggy Lee and Frank Sinatra and all that. I got I was already a fan of that before 1972. But in the 70s is when I really, I was coming of age. I was coming of age. And I loved everything pop and also some hard rock and roll and a little bit of metal. I'm not putting down metal per se, but certainly I would love some of the Led Zeppelin, some of their more poppy tunes, including the song Rock and Roll. I mean, man, you know, playing a song like that on your radio show, as I used to do from time to time, just you pump up the volume in the studio, and it would just really be good for you to be motivated, because you knew there goes my top to my bottle. Um, you knew that this was the kind of song that would excite people, just like Stairway to Heaven. That and Freebird were the two songs most requested in the 80s, certainly. And I didn't do radio, pop radio. I didn't do to the 80s. I did country music starting in 1977 upstate near Buffalo. Where Dingus Day is coming, the big holiday in the Polish tradition, Dingus Day, April 6th in places like Buffalo and other Polish communities around America. And I can't imagine what's going on in Poland or if they even celebrate it there. I don't know. Nobody tell me nothing, you know? Huh. So, yeah. Oh, I loved it all from the disco, of course, Elton and Billy. Wore out 8 tracks from them. So did my friends. They also liked Jethro Tull far more than I did, but I knew Ian Anderson and the rest of Tull were fantastic. I knew they were great musicians, and I, of course, liked their hits. Do 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 do. We know that song, and also Bungle in the Jungle. Bungle in the Jungle starts off with a lion roar. Yeah, 70 watching right now. So yeah, Casey and the Sunshine Band, Donna Summer, uh, and all the hits, that were so defining of the 1970s. A warm howdy from Montana. Yes, yes, yes. So last week, I'll leave this screen for just a little bit, but keep commenting and chatting. And last week, we started talking about some of the televangelists we used to watch, and there are a lot of Christians here, and they were watching a lot of Trinity Broadcasting Network and the other Christian networks, maybe the Eternal Word. I don't know. That's for Catholics, and now there's several others, the Catholic Network, and what have you, that you'll see ads for on Facebook, perhaps. So I used to watch a lot. I was on Christian radio for 11 years, and I was certainly watching during that time in the 90s till 2000, let's see, about 2001, 2002 is when I left Sound of Life. And but I was there for 11 years, and although I just had a Saturday afternoon show and was doing a full-time peace officer job during the week and the overnights, I often filled in the afternoons during the week. And if I was off on a particular Monday, because I was off every other Monday and every other weekend from the peace officer job, I would fill in for the morning man every once in a while on a Monday, the big show, and it was 14 stations at the end. So there were a lot of people listening back then. Radio was still very much alive. It's not as alive as it used to be. So let's see. So we started talking about various preachers, and someone asked, "Well, is Jim and what happened to Lori Baker?" I think they said. Well, she's back. If she had ever left the Jim Baker Family Show, very nice building. It's more than it's like a complex. Looks like a hotel and everything else. Because Jim Baker doesn't like to do things small. The Jim Baker Show, and I saw some of the March 17th, 2026 broadcast. So we were talking about, you know, the other preachers that we liked as well. But Jim Baker's name came up, and Lori Baker. And sure enough, they're still together, and she looks great. And he's 86, and he'll let you know probably every show he says this. So he's kind of loud now. He's not that, he was always enthusiastic, but, he's like the grandpa at Thanksgiving now. And you can kind of get the feel. I'll show you a picture. Let's see here. You can get the feel that everybody is poised to make him look as good as possible. To expect him to. I'll never understand why when I first shoot a pic, it'll work when I turn the phone sideways, and it doesn't happen when I. But let me go back to live stream so I can see what this looks like. Well, look at that. Pam Inslee, $50. Happy birthday, Jack. Celebrate the gift of you. Thank you very, very much. It's all God's grace that I'm even talking to you. Don't deserve to be. I'll make that plain and clear. You know that what Jesus says about is it Jesus himself speaking there? Talking about the fruit trees. I want to say fig, but am I confusing two stories here? God looks and sees if your personal tree is bearing fruit. And if he sees that it's not, he says, well, I'll come back in a year and give it another look. But the teaching is basically that at some point, Jesus is going to see no fruit in your life, and that's going to be enough. That's going to be enough, and your time here on earth will end. I'm not saying you're going to go to an eternal flame or what have you. I'm just saying that your reward won't be great because you, of course, when you're in the presence of God, that's about as great as a great can be. But what I'm trying to say here is God would have looked more than a year, more than once, to see how much fruit my life was, bringing forth, and there wouldn't have been that much many a times, many a years. So for some reason, I've gotten like a quadruple plus portion of grace, and the amazing grace of God. So here's Jim and Lori Baker. He doesn't have the hair he used to have, but they've always got another co-host that's going to jump in too, and they've got guests and what have you. So let's just play a little clip of the Jim Baker Show open. Thank you so much, Pam Inslee. Thank you. Jody Smith. Both are equally important. Thank you very, very much for hitting the thanks button. I'll tell you about the Cash App in a little while. But let's play a little excerpt from the Jim Baker Open earlier this month.
Baker Family Show. Our special guest is Michael Snyder. Our co-host today is Reverend Mondo de la Vega. And now, here are your hosts, Pastors Jim and Lori Baker.
Here we are!
Hi there.
I have a young wife, but I'm old, and
Honey, you have to stop saying that. I keep
No,
telling them
but
all the time. Hi, I'm Lori
I'm
Baker.
86
Jen Baker.
and I'm planning to live to be at least 100. And Jesus coming. Mom, did you know in the Bible there's men over 100 years old?
Oh, yes, a lot of them.
Hundreds of years old.
So don't complain so you don't remain.
Yeah, that's my
I
saying.
know. Don't whine so you don't stay behind.
That's
right?
That's right. That's what he taught
I
us.
invented that years ago.
So I'm just preaching it back to you.
I'm sure glad you learned something from me.
Respect your elders. No, but you know what? The most important time that we're going through right now is now. You used to give out hats that said now.
Yes.
And it makes me think about where we are in Bible prophecy. And the church has got to wake up. And we have to realize that. And I remember you saying this years ago, Mom. God has chosen you and I to be a part of this greatest moments. And God chose you.
But Michael Snyder is back with us
Michael,
today.
hello.
So that's the open of the Jim Baker Show. The Jim Baker Show, March 17, 2026. You can find it right here at YouTube, right here on YouTube. All right. So I thought that was kind of cool. He's been at it so long. And I was captivated by the old PTL club back in the day. I wanted to go. By the time I got there, everything was closed up. I was with my second wife, and we trespassed the grounds. I had a shield back then that said Department of Homeless Services Police, so I thought we might be all right. Maybe, or they may say we don't like Yankees here too much. Don't like them at all, but they got a badge or not. You know what I'm saying? Go on, get. I mean, that would be the thing you want to hear is go on, get, not, experience the silver bracelets. So Jack, the 700 Club turned out to be a scam of sorts. Well, what do I want to say? You get into this formula, and this can happen with words of knowledge. It can happen in prophecy teaching. Where it seems, and I don't ever want to step on the Holy Spirit. I don't want to do that. And that's another concern I've always had about the Pastor Bob Joyce story and me, doing these videos. Don't want to step on the Holy Spirit. He controls my next breath for one reason. And, what's the one unpardonable sin? The blaspheming of the Holy Spirit. So don't want to do that. Don't want to be in that business whatsoever. But they would have, at the end of the program, usually they would pray for people and they would have words of knowledge. So-and-so in Virginia has gout and the Lord is healing you right now and things like that. And it's the indication that the Holy Spirit will meet your broadcast schedule, and I have a problem with that. That doesn't seem right. Or that every time you have you close your eyes to go to sleep, you're having prophetic dreams. And anyway, when you're on a lot and you have a specific broadcast schedule, it just seems odd to me that the Holy Spirit would be accommodating to the point where every time before you go to air, you would have a fresh prophetic word. I don't know. That to me is something that I'm leery about. But that's just me. Let's see. I'm just looking to see if I missed any comments. So thank you, Pam, Inslee, and Jody for hitting the thanks button there. So we got a lot of things up here. Our second topic was talking about posing the question, just posing the question, and I'm not the only one doing it. Because we don't know if the Timothy Busfield, and I remember him from 30 something. That's where I most remember him from, that show. I used to love 30 something. We are not sure of any of these allegations, and there are more now, but that doesn't involve, they're from 30 years ago. And if you wait 30 years and then when something comes that's more current, you join in, then I don't know. They're not going to put that in this case. This is about the two young boys that worked on a show that Timothy Busfield was the director, executive producer of. I think he was the executive producer, and that's all it's going to be about. That's all it's going to be. The other, I would assume, would be beyond the statute of limitations. So there's been some talk about Melissa Gilbert. She was very quick to come to her husband's defense, of course, and she about a week or two before the story broke, she came up with this story about a time when she was 15 years old on Little House on the Prairie, and they wanted her to kiss on an actor they said was 17. But he was really 23. I guess his name is Dean Butler. And Melissa Gilbert said she watched every episode of Little House on the Prairie, and it was so innocent. It was, first of all, it was Little House on the Prairie. It was like a little peck or whatever on the mouth, but that was it. It wasn't a provocative storyline. The character was supposed to be 17, and in real life, Dean Butler at that time was 23. He just looked young. He just looked young. So she, out of the blue, put out this story, and then a week or two later, charges were announced for Timothy Busfield, and he was missing for a while. He literally drove, I think, from the Catskills of New York, not far from where I am here. I'm not in the Catskills, but I'm not far from the foot of the Catskills, out to wherever this happened. What was the community? It was California, right? It was California. So look at that, Miles. Right. You are wild. You are wild, as Johnny Carson would say, wild. 1999 on the thanks button. Happy birthday from Judy and Miles. Thank you so much. I won't be the big 7-0 till Saturday. Excuse me. I can hit the cough button. I could, but I didn't get to it fast enough. It snuck up on me. And then another one for $9.99 for a total of almost $30. Thank you very, very much. Very, very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Erica Williams. Happy birthday. Thank you to you. Thank you to your wishing me an age that I often wondered if I'd make it to, 70 years old this Saturday. Let's see here. Neil says, I remember him being from Revenge of the Nerds. Dean Butler or Timothy Busfield? Which one? Always be specific, because it leaves me to wonder, Marty. I wonder. Everyone have a good night. Have to get up early. Good night. Good night to you, Marty. Take care. And so, yeah, the 700 Club, it's something I watch from time to time, but I was never really a big fan, but it was entertaining. The show itself was entertaining. The word of knowledge at the end, I was never too sure about it. So I didn't condemn it. I just said, I wonder if that's real. And because that's kind of like almost like, the Christian version of psychic powers, that kind of thing. They call it a word of knowledge. And I'm not saying it's invalid. So don't say, oh, you're saying that's not that valid. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying back then that's what I wondered about. That's all. Tim Busfield Poindexter. Well, he's not David Johansen, who was Buster Poindexter, Car 54, Where Are You? And of course, well, in Car 54, he would have been David Johansen. But when he did that one big hit party record, Hot, 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 Ole, 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 he went under the name and in the video as Buster Poindexter. Yeah, great song though. Oh boy, how many weddings, how many parties played that song from David Johansen under the name Buster Poindexter. Buster Poindexter. He left us not that long ago. I think maybe a year or less since the death of David Johansen. So good stuff. But Timothy Busfield's done a whole lot of things. He's done a whole lot. And so let's see here. I've got so many tabs open. I got 2 tabs open on Melissa Gilbert. So she was right by her husband's side. She was right there in court. She wrote a very long, moving letter to the judge and what have you. She made the mistake of tackling Megyn Kelly, which then puts you in for a lot of future content that Megan's going to be talking about it. People with platforms do that. They grab on. Like I saw that the Bob Joyce topic was the most popular thing that I had ever done. And I also saw it was a very complicated story. And throughout the years, I've seen it continue to produce new content sort of automatically on its own, So when you go after Megyn Kelly, you better be prepared because she's going to come right back at you and she's going to try to find something now where she might not have before. Before, she was a fan who used to watch on Little House on the Prairie. Was Melissa Gilbert part of the sex scandal? Is she part of the sex scandal? Based on reports from January 2026, that's based on reports, Melissa Gilbert is not accused of participating in any sex crime or crime. However, she is directly involved as a spouse of actor-director Timothy Busfield, who is facing serious allegations of child sex. She had support for her husband. Gilbert has publicly stood with and supported her husband amid allegations that he has sexually abused children while working in New Mexico. That's where he had to go, not California, New Mexico. Legal support, she submitted an emotional letter to the judge in defense of Busfield, describing him as having a strong moral compass and asking for his protection. In other words, if he was going to end up having to go to jail right away, he already was, but to stay in jail, she wanted to make sure he was protected in there. Witness Association reports indicate she was on speakerphone during a phone interview between her husband and police regarding the investigation, and that she and her husband had a social relationship with the victim's family. There's something where the lights go on. Yes. Not specifically in this situation, but it would be something that is very possible, that because it's happened so many other times with, dare I say, some clergy members, Catholic priest and what have you, gets to know the family real well. We all know about the pastor from Tulsa, Oklahoma. What's his name? I'm looking at his face right now in my mind and I'm having trouble calling his name, but we all know about him. He's in jail right now for a short time because when he was a traveling evangelist before he became known really all over the country, he was touching a 15-year-old. For 4 years it went on. The pastor from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And but he got in very good with the family. They trusted him. That's part of it. So when you see something like that, it does kind of ring a bell. Gilbert has deactivated her personal social media accounts and her brand, Modern Prairie, canceling events, etc., etc. All right, so we read that part. Let me close up a tab here. Um, Based on recent reports, there are allegations that actress Melissa Gilbert and her husband Timothy Busfield encouraged a 20-year-old apprentice to do drugs with them, according to claims made to police. That's the Detroit Press. That's the Detroit Press. This is all allegations, unproven allegations. According to the report published in March of 2026, this month, a woman who was 20, a 20-year-old apprentice at a Sacramento theater, told police that Timothy Busfield and his wife, Melissa Gilbert, encouraged her to do drugs with them. We're talking now, the word grooming comes in. Grooming, a potential candidate, grooming, allegedly, in this particular situation. Busfield has denied any charges, calling them lies, and has stated he will fight them. Melissa Gilbert has stood by her husband, supporting him during these proceedings. So far, no further evidence. As of the latest reports, this specific allegation regarding encouraging drug use has been reported in the media as a statement made to police, but it is distinct from the more serious criminal sexual contact charges against Busfield. So there you go. Time will tell how that story played out or plays out. Let me go to the email now. As I said, it's a jam-packed show. Cash App. And we thank Elaine Peterson for hitting the Cash App for $10. A love tip with lipstick and everything. My goodness. Thank you, Elaine Peterson. You are very, very faithful in the Cash App department. I appreciate that so much. Well, I didn't know the Tennessee Titan was even here from Sale Creek. Let's see here. Todd Bradshaw for happy birthday. Hee-haw! He loves It's a Wonderful Life like I do. It's one of those movies, if you have deathbed movies, that would definitely be on the list, if you want to spend your time watching movies, but you really want to spend your time in preparation. For me, it'll be a lot of pleading, in my prayers, I think. Maybe I can get past that and just trust in the amazing grace of the Lord. Todd Bradshaw, happy birthday, Jack. $100 on the Cash App. Todd, you are incredible. I appreciate $1. I appreciate $100. Whatever you can do, never do anything if you can't afford it, and never give more than you can. It's just a tip jar. It's a virtual tip jar with two ways to do it here. So thank you, Todd. And thank you, Elaine Peterson, very faithful Elaine Peterson. Let me go back to the live stream. I got to go back to emails too, but to look at that, Miles Wright and Pam Inslee and Jody Smith on the thanks button. Thank you. Nice color choices too. I don't know how many you have to choose from, but let me put the Cash App handle in, which is lowercase letters, Media Guy 56. If you have that loaded on your phone and you're in the United States or you're in the UK, I think they have Cash App there. You can use that. It's a good way to do it. I'll say that much, but I'm very thankful for the thanks button and the people who hit that. So there you go. There's the Cash App handle, Media Guy 56. There's Todd. Hi there, Jackie. Oh, he's talking to me. I used to be Jackie. I was Jackie Luther London. I didn't plan on the Luther. I didn't even plan on the London part, but both names were kind of given to me by different program directors at the radio station. So why did I say I wanted to not be Jack Willard? I wanted something catchier. I had in mind Jack Rabbit, but they just laughed and said no. So I never got to be Jack Rabbit. Hi there, Jackie. And let's see, go up further here. Happy birthday, Jack. Good evening, all. Yes, there we are. Todd Bradshaw. So, Nancy DeMarco, Todd Bradshaw, did you have any of those storms? I think you said you were cool in Tennessee for this past weekend, but Nancy and Marty, apparently Marty, who's already left us, he probably didn't have any storms. He would have told us, right? What about you, Nancy DeMarco? Did you escape those tornadoes, I hope? Oh, scary, right? Scary situation, those tornadoes, because you never know when they're going to pop up. I'm not sure if I've seen that movie. What movie is that? What movie is that? I missed the first part of that. Can be a touchy subject. I always have to think, what is Neo reacting to specifically? So people saying hello to Todd Bradshaw, of course. And cool. 72 watching right now. So what do you think about this whole thing? There are signs. That doesn't mean any of it's true. There are signs that Melissa could be partnered to some of this, but that's just unproven. One 20-year-old says that she was invited to do drug use. I don't know that they do drugs or have done drugs ever. All unproven allegations. We'll see how it goes in the court. And Melissa Gilbert is at this point charged with absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So what do you say, if you care to say at all? Tracy Shelley. Hello, Tracy Shelley. You've been here before, haven't you? I know we've had a few Tracys by the cufflinks. Ba, 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 ba. Come with me. Don't say no. Hold me close, Tracy. Never, never, never let me go. I think that's Ron Dante who sang with the cufflinks. He's the same guy who sang Sugar, Sugar with the Archies. He's the voice of the 1910 Fruit Gum Company. Every time I see your face, I love you. 1, 2, 3, red light. Baby, it ain't right. I added that. I don't know if that's a lyric. There are a lot of crazy drivers. You know it. And that's a factor. I saw it driving to Florida in 2024, all by my lonesome. I can't believe I did that. But I said, I paid for this hotel tickets and I can't get the money back. And I'm not going to not go. And Karen, was too nervous to do that long of a drive. And so I just said, it's going to be crappy weather here. I'm going to go. I'm going to see Jimmy Sturr down at the Polka Club down there, Polish Club in Port St. Lucie. And I ran into at my hotel, which was a really good cheap deal. So I was surprised to see them there. But were the Mets farm team, potential Mets that would be auditioning, some of them playing at not Shea Stadium. The Mets play in Tampa. No, that's the Yankees. The Mets play, for goodness sakes, in Texas. In Texas, I saw them. Back when what's his name was on the I guess AAA team. Tim Tebow. I saw Tim Tebow. He's doing God's work now. Christian minister. He has a ministry to exploited children. So saw that there. That's where they play. But I saw in 2020 what? That would have been before 2024. I think it was 2024. I check into a hotel, and then I realized there were a lot of potential Mets that were staying at the same hotel, and they were playing. Well, this was before. I'm trying to remember. This was before they had a they had some kind of a training facility in the Port St. Lucie area. And now I'm remembering it's not Texas, it's Port St. Lucie, Florida, is where the Mets preseason play and training occurs. All right. I think I'm finally somewhat clear about that. Tracy Shelley talking to Todd Bradshaw. Oh, a fellow or a female Tennessean. Good. Well, I'm not sure. Tracy is one of those. I've known two male Tracys. There was Tracy Baxter, who was the local anchor man here in the city on the cable spectrum. Well, back then it was Time Warner Cable. And so there was Tracy Baxter. Then I worked with a Tracy as a peace officer. He was also in the reserves, the Army Reserves, I guess. It's been a long time. Many bad drivers in Australia too, with no consideration for others, and they can cause the most horrific accidents, They have no respect for the slow lane. They'll go on the shoulder to get around you. Need to be careful. Also, road rage. Yeah, don't participate in the road rage because they'll shoot you. Don't give them the one bird salute. Don't beep your horn even. And it happens right on this road. When we've done videos and you've seen that road, you said, wow, there's a lot of traffic out there. Yeah, there can be. There can be. Fights in the middle of the road. Thankfully, not every day, though. Yeah, you just don't. You don't do it. You don't challenge them. And the police are never going to catch those guys. They catch the people going 5 miles over the speed limit or the limit, going to church or coming back from church on Sunday. That's who they catch, not the real SO. What's that other word? What's that other initial? Hey, Vinny Maru from Las Vegas. Hold on here. I've been talking so fast. I have done what usually happens. I've caused a tickle in my voice. How are you, Vinny? Not that I expect you to give me a full medical report, but feel free. How are you doing? Love to all the family, all in the family. Yeah, our family is still doing pretty well here. Carol Cook says, hello, Jack and Karen and everyone here tonight. Hope all is well with everyone. Going to warm up tomorrow. So the weather, and that's in Southern Ontario, is going to be better in Canada. And that means it's going to warm up here. It usually goes that way. Cold right now. Yeah, here too. 25 degrees, my computer says. That's what my computer says. East Tennessee. That's right. Yes, I always kid you about East Tennessee, but that's only because I have no idea of north, east, west, or south. Put me in the middle of the field somewhere where I've never been and I have no clue. Someone could explain it to me, and maybe I could finally learn at 69 going on 70. By the way, Glenn Miller played songs that made the hit parade. Guys like us, we had it made. Yes. Those were the days. Gene Stapleton was often asked on talk shows to sing a little bit of that or just do the Edith voice. And she said, I hope you won't be offended if I say no to that. She just didn't want to do that to the character. Archie would do it on a dime. I mean, Carol O'Connor would do it on a dime. But she never did. She never felt comfortable doing that, and I respect that, It's funny, you may have heard me talk incessantly about Jimmy Sturr, 18-time Grammy winner Jimmy Sturr, the polka king from Florida, New York, right up the road from me. And he does a lot of gigs in Florida, the state as well. Just got back from his Florida tour, and every January they leave from Fort Lauderdale on the Jimmy Sturr Polka Cruise. But he has a couple of Italians now in his polka band, and one of them is Nick DeVito. Nick DeVito's father played in the original Glenn uh, Miller Orchestra, I believe it was the very original. And Nick is an incredible. He plays like three instruments. He plays the sax. He plays the flute. He plays a couple of instruments that you never usually hear, and he's terrific. Nick DeVito. I've had many conversations with him. We'll see him soon. Hope to get up to Buffalo, New York, drive all the way, which is like 5.5 hours, to meet Polka Sean and Polka Norma up there. And then Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, at the casino there on the 11th of April for Polka Fest with Polka Family and a tribute to John Stanky, a polka legend that passed away in the last 2 months. John Stanky, his brother Joe Stanky will be there. His brother Joe Stanky will be there as well. And they do all kinds of music, not just polka. They do big band. That's where Nick gets to, do some of the stuff his dad would have played. And they do country. They span the gamut. So yeah, I mean, I was too, by the time I started becoming conscious of the charts, it was the Billboard Hot 100. The Billboard Hot 100. You came in at 97. The big thing was Casey Kasem said Neil Sedaka has broke the top 100 at number 97 for the first time in 18 years or whatever it was. And it went from 97 to a number one song from the late, great Neil Sedaka. Miss him, miss him, miss him. Got to see him perform at the New Jersey State Fair with my ex-radio boss as the MC, Cousin Bruce Morrow. And it was fantastic. He was fantastic. The love for Neil Sedaka and Chubby Checker and whoever else was there that I can't remember right now. Somebody big, though, so it'll come to me eventually. But so Neil Sedaka's Laughter in the Rain went to number one, his big comeback song, even though in terms of being on the charts, his big comeback was the Captain and Tennille's Love Will Keep Us Together. They even sing at the end of the song, Sedaka is back. But he came back with his voice in 1975 with Laughter in the Rain. And that led to, of course, other hits, including Bad Blood with Elton John. Let me have a cough drop. Who took my cough drops? Well, here's one that's already open. Little dust it won't hurt you. It won't hurt you. So we still got Australian Secrets, an NBC poll. To talk about. So I got a lot of support in the email, including from someone in the inside source, just to wrap up the Bob Joyce topic, but you can talk about it anytime you want to, of course, saying that, yeah, you can come to the church. So I just hope they tell those big guys that. Go down here a little bit. We have 72 watching right now. I saw Face Off long ago. Face Off. I've heard of that. By the way, I haven't seen one episode yet, but if you do have Paramount/Showtime, there's a brand new series on there starring the one, the only Mr. Kurt Russell. Probably a 10-episode gig, So I'll be Madison. I want to say Madison is the title. I don't know if it's the complete title, but Madison, starring a man who's played Elvis several times and did the voice of Elvis in Forrest Gump, Keith Russell. Will he play one more time? I sure hope so. I sure hope so. He's perfect. He's perfect. My favorite Nick Cage. That's right. Don't put that K in there. Todd knows that. Nick never uses a K. So if you shorten Nicholas to Nick, which he's okay with. Did you see that movie where he played Nick Cage? All about, it's kind of a documentary of his life, but it was a spoof, really, but with real facts in it. So you never knew what was real and what wasn't. The Incredible Pressure of whatever, however, what was the title of that? It was great. But that is certainly, one of his big ones. It's not one of the ones I've seen, though. Nick Cage movie is Raising Arizona. That's a classic. I think I've seen part of it, but not all of it, so I've got to see that. I can't wait for Best Pancakes in the County, which maybe by fall we'll get to see that, if not sooner. Starring Nicolas Cage, shot completely in Arkansas, I think. I think that's right. And possibly a scene from Sabrina's house. We shall see. Here comes Brad. He just got home. He's going to come upstairs now. This movie of Nick's, actually, the ending surprised me a little, which is nice. They don't rank it high, but I still liked it. Yeah. There's plenty of movies that, the critics may not have thought was a cat's meow. Rotten Tomatoes may not have liked it, but that's the thing now. You got to get a good rating from Rotten Tomatoes, and you'll see that. Even here on YouTube, they show movies, and they'll tell you what the Rotten Tomatoes rating is. Also saw a movie with a character that was a wildlife marshal. That was Marshall Willenholly. Most missed the joke there. I should have known that you couldn't just give me a straight story. I'm in that category. I missed the joke. Knowing was the movie about figuring out a code. You made me think of any of Jim Carrey in The Number 23. Huh? Did you see that? Mr. Carrey is very capable of being a dramatic actor, as he certainly proved in the movie The Majestic. Very good movie. You never saw The Number 23. Okay. Yeah. If you ever do, let me know if you can figure it out. I mean, it is a significant thing in numerology, and it was kind of a dark movie, not overly sexual or anything like that, but a dark movie. So we see that, what's the name of the gentleman who won Best Actor? I didn't see the movie. I kind of like to see it. I don't know the blonde woman that won Best Actress. Never saw that movie. I didn't see 10 seconds of the Oscars, not 10 seconds. I hear that Sean Penn won Best Supporting Actor and didn't show up. That's so Sean Penn. That's like Dylan. He ain't showing up. You're going to give Dylan an award. He ain't showing up. Sean Penn would be like that too. And he's always still smoking, like John Cougar Mellencamp. The fact that he's still alive, he looks smaller. He looks like it's like the body of a boy almost, but with muscles, And he's there doing a promo for his tour, and he's smoking a cigarette as he does it. My lips feel dry. I need some lip balm. Karen gave me some too. Where did it go? Who knows? It's probably downstairs. Yeah. I liked when he played the Weatherman. I certainly liked the Wicker Man. Oh, but there are movies I'm forgetting about that Nick has done. And even when he was doing the bad movies, just to get a minimal payday so he could pay off the IRS. The times when I would watch one of those movies, usually full of car chases and revenge and stuff like that, there was always a moment where he brought it. He was able to, cut through the mediocre material and show you the brilliance of Nicolas Cage. Academy Award-winning actor Michael Hembry is here. It's your birthday, Jack. Well, almost Saturday. Saturday, I'll be the big 7-0. So I'll be on as far as I know. That's the plan. If I make it to 70, I'll be here. And but during the day, we may go to an Irish concert. This guy was just on Fox and Friends on St. Patrick's Day at 8:56 in the morning. He sang Everybody's Irish on St. Paddy's Day. I'm talking about the great Irish tenor, Andy Cooney, and he's coming down to the Paramount Theater Saturday afternoon to do a full concert with an Irish comedian and Irish dancers and what have you. And I think Jimmy Sturr, since they've worked together many times, I think Jimmy will probably show up with his beautiful lady Barbara. And so I think we're going to do that. Later on, we'll have some cake, some pineapple whipped cream cake from D. Philippi's. And then I'll come up here and do a show. That night. I liked Honeymoon in Vegas. Yeah. Certainly know of it, but I can't remember if I've seen any of it. Interesting. Mellencamp turned into a goofball. He's a goofball liberal, is he? Oh, we better be careful. Offensive. Hey, I gotta be me. What else can I be but what I am? I'll go it alone. And that has happened when somebody has sang Hit the Road Jack to me. But I was always blessed in another relationship. And now God gave Karen to me. Not the first Karen I ever had. That was the first one was back in the 80s. Oh dear. But yeah. An old movie of Cage's is Valley Girl. It came out when I was in high school. So is that what led to the big Valley Girl imitation, kind of your own dialect if you're a Valley Girl? Kind of a California accent, right? If you're a Valley Girl, you're from the San Fernando Valley, aren't you? I know there's more. I'm in a valley in more ways than one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the Hudson Valley. So yeah, I know about that. So I never saw Valley Girl. I did not. I appreciate that, Elaine Peterson. Wish you a happy birthday on Saturday. Thank you. Seeing if I've missed anybody here. I hate to miss people. Captain and Tennille. Oh, you're putting it all as one word. You didn't say toenail. You could have said the captain and toenail. Love will keep us together. They got divorced. But she was with Daryl Dragon, right? She was with him when he was on his deathbed, and I thought that was wonderful. That's a really good thing. So I'm just looking back. I think we've CM Trucker sounds like a mafia. Didn't you say that last show or before? I heard somebody's got the mafia on their brain. Robin Roman is here. Carol Connor and I share the same birthday. What a wonderful actor Carol O'Connor was. The last thing he did was the TV movie with what is that British actress who always puts on the American voice? She was in it. It starred, everybody was famous in there. David Duchovny was the lead. Carol Connor had a wonderful part. And the late Robert Rogia, from Scarface and so many other movies. He did a ton of movies, but um, David Duchovny's wife is killed in an horrific car accident, and he receives a heart transplant from. Let me get this right here. Yeah, okay, no, David Duchovny's wife died, and she donated her heart. And wouldn't you know, who would become the next girlfriend of David Duchovny in Return to Me? See why they say Return to Me? Um, his new girlfriend had a heart transplant and received his wife's heart. It's and it's poignant drama. It's not there's funny moments, of course, and you had a whole bunch of famous people in that movie. So watch that, Return to Me. And what is the British actress who played the person who received the heart transplant? I never. It's something with an M. It's something with an M. The first name, I think. He was good in Peggy Sue Got Married. Another one I've seen part of the movie, but not all of it. She probably said that, right? She probably said that one of the times. Didn't do it. It's not paid. I'm not paid for it. So, or so she said. It's like when Liberace would go to a party and they'd say, Lee, can you play the piano? It's not that he would never do it, but he got tired of it being every single time. And he'd say, oh, no, that's work. I didn't come here to work. But at some point after it goes from, I don't feel like doing that, and I'm going to hold my ground to, yeah, I'll play some tunes for you. Lee Liberace, so brilliantly played by Michael Douglas. He went way out of his comfort zone to do that movie. Matt Damon played his lover in it. And so people, when they found out, I want to keep it as clean as I can here, but when people found out that he was playing Liberace and that Matt Damon, they'd already filmed it, that Matt Damon had the part of his lover, the first question the president of the United States gets in a party is, where are the aliens? Are they real? Well, the first question he was getting everywhere he went, Michael Douglas, was, did you kiss Matt Damon? And he said, I did more than that. Not too much more. Not much at all. It's not a porn movie, for goodness sakes, Vinny. From like 209. Let's see. My favorite Nick Cage movie is Raising Arizona. Okay, I saw that one. Oh, you saw a show that had that captain, that title. Okay. Knowing was the movie about a code, says Vinny Maru. Okay. I feel like I've seen some of it, but I haven't seen it all, that's for sure. Yeah, Mellencamp, well, I'll tell you, I can separate the artist from the political beliefs, except when Tom Hanks went to the extent of portraying anyone who's MAGA as someone that would be racist against black people or even the touch of their hand. I thought that was a bridge too far, and he wouldn't apologize for it. But I can still admit that I've liked many Bruce Springsteen songs without agreeing with his politics, My son wants to see him in Texas in the worst way, but the tickets are crazy expensive if you want the nosebleed section, but that's no fun, But hey, rocking in the USA, ROCK in the USA, that's a DJ's dream to talk up back in the days of when Top 40 radio was hot, the talk up, it just builds and builds and builds. It's a great pop song. Jack and Diane, of course, is a great pop song, is Pink Houses, and so many other of the Mellencamp tunes. But they were just fun songs for the most part. He has some serious songs where he talks about someday you will get sick and you will not recover. You will not recover. Boy, did I see a spooky video here on YouTube. Oh, I don't think I want to tell you about it. How many are getting cremated at the end of the story? Show of hands? Well, I can't see your hands, but the show of words. How many plan to get cremated? Ain't burying me in no ground. I won't be able to breathe under there, and then the worms will come at me. I'll be frightened. There won't be any bell because they don't do that anymore, where I can press a buzzer and they'll say, "Oh, that guy's still alive. We better dig him up. We better dig him up." So, but I did see a video that the hair on the back of my head stood up. But some people would probably Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. I've never heard of them. Tell me about them. I went to the theater last weekend and saw Epic. Yeah, why haven't I seen that yet? Epic. I said, well, it's probably going to be on Prime pretty soon or somewhere. Elvis Presley in concert. It was done really well. The sound and the remastering was a first-time experience for me. You've whetted my appetite that much more, Todd. All the remastering, etc. Yeah, they can really clean something up often. I'm really loving the movies on YouTube. Movies on YouTube. Yeah, what you do is if you search well, it's not easy to find necessarily, but if you search by certain titles, you will find yourself on going through these people that put up like 50 movies. It's not all loaded onto YouTube, but you hit the link and you'll be able to watch this movie that you haven't seen in years or what have you. So they'll say, so and so the creator on the YouTube has got 57 movies posted, 32 movies, whatever. And you'll find some, you'll find some stuff on YouTube you won't find anywhere else. Like when someone told me, I read that Nancy Barrett from Dark Shadows, that's Kitten. Here she is with the actor playing David Collins, Jameson Collins later on in a different time period, parallel time. Nancy Barrett, also known as Kitten, she played like 4 different roles too. She is a phenomenal acting machine, but she didn't do a whole lot after Dark Shadows. She would do a one-woman show. I wish I would have seen that. And she did some Ryan's Hope, and she did some of the Doctors, but it wasn't a big role on the Doctors. And to me, that was crazy that she'd even accept it. A nurse. No, that you gotta give Nancy Barrett more than that. She is incredible. She's 82 years old now. I'll show you some more pictures. But they said that she was in this movie from 1986. And I would come to find out that the main star there was Armand Desante. And sure enough, I found the whole movie right here on YouTube. And sure enough, I've forgotten the title completely. It's not an easy title to remember, I'll tell you that. But that's Nancy. Here, might as well just do the new Dark Shadows pictures now. Somebody might care. Here she is with the late, great Jonathan Frid, Barnabas Collins, who saved Dark Shadows in 1967 from cancellation and took it into millions of people watching as they introduced the vampire. So there's a number of pictures with Nancy Barrett where it almost looks like he's looking at her so adoringly. You might think, even though he was much older than her, that he would have a romantic interest. That would not be likely based on his personal life, which is a real mystery. We can't find a single person, let's say, that he was ever romantically linked with. He was that private about her or what have you. But it was fairly well known that he was a gay actor, as were a few of them on Dark Shadows. So they have done some Dark Shadows audio books more recently. Here's Nancy on the cover promoting that. It's called Curtain Call, right? Yep, Curtain Call. Nancy and the late Joel Crothers, who did a lot of soaps. He ended his career on Santa Barbara, died way too young, complications related to AIDS. And there's Denise Nickerson, who played the Blueberry in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and played two great roles on Dark Shadows. She was in many episodes and was wonderful. She died in 2019. She had a stroke and what have you. And she just got so frustrated, and she came home and took every pill she could find and ended up in the hospital where she passed away. Denise Nickerson, huge fan of hers. And that's Nancy Barrett with them. And here they are recording in the studio, one of those audio books. Nancy Barrett and Marie Wallace, who will be at the 60th Dark Shadows, the 60th and final, they say, 60th and final Dark Shadows reunion in Burbank, California at the Westin Hotel, I want to say, July 31st, August 1st, and August 2nd. Oh, how I wish, and Karen wishes we could go to that. Yeah. And we have seen Marie Wallace in person, but we've never seen Nancy Barrett. Never. Here's a beautiful picture of Nancy Barrett in her prime there. One of the storylines, when they would go back in time, parallel time, or they would go to another time. And then for a brief time, they went to the future. They went to 1995. And Nancy Barrett, played her most popular character, Carolyn Stoddard, but she played her in 1995, and she had gone mad. She had gone mad in 1995. She was so wonderful, no matter what role she played. And here's a more recent picture at one of the Dark Shadows conventions of Nancy Barrett, who is now, as I say, 82, lives in Phoenix, Arizona, in a beautiful retirement community. There you go. I've got too many photos, gang. I've got way too many photos. I will definitely see that, Todd. The attack of Eddie Munster. Oh, Butch Patrick has been to this town 2 or 3 times. We have a place called Rock Fantasy here. It's a metal shop, what have you. And sometimes they have celebrities come in. So they had Butch Patrick come in. And then over at the Quinn's Pins bowling alley, for a price, you could bowl a game with Eddie Munster. You could bowl a game with Butch Patrick. Yeah, you could. By the way, first picture I showed you there. Of David Hennessy. We were born the same year, 1956. He will turn 70 years old, little David will, in October of this year, October. And he's a big, wealthy business owner in Panama. He's been there for many years. He owns 2 restaurants. He owns several other businesses, a coffee business and a chocolate flakes business, whatever they call it. It's some la-di-da thing, you know. And yeah, we would love to go to Panama, but I don't think that'll happen. Okay, Australian secrets. Excuse me for clearing my throat without turning the mic down. Let me just check here. So we've already thanked on the Cash App Elaine Peterson for $10, Todd Bradshaw for 100, and the one, the only Vinny Maru from Las Vegas, Nevada, $50. Thank you so much, Vinny. You're incredible. I'd love to get to Vegas and meet you. I hope you're doing okay. Hope you're, I know the last time you talked, you were, having issues and what have you. And I hope, I pray for you, and I hope that that you are experiencing better day-to-day life than you were back then. I don't know, you know. So thank you, you guys. Let's see what one of my competitors said here, because I did ask him some questions. I asked one of my fellow creators their take on Nicolas Cage. I've already been told from someone in the inner source that Nicolas Cage was there. So I already know, but I wanted to see what this other creator said. And he said that the photos are real. And we have them. We've showed them. Here's one right here. I always like to see how you're seeing it. So let me go back. Yeah. Bob Aaron Joyce, I just noticed that. And Nicolas Cage. And in the middle, I believe, is Sabrina's husband. And he does his one-man Randy Quaid show, his tribute to Randy Quaid. Oh, yeah. These are not fake photos, but when someone has a narrative and something doesn't fit, they have to say, oh, that's fake. That's fake. AI, everything's AI. Some things are, that's not. That's not. So let's see here. Yeah. It's interesting that he chose that particular house, Sabrina's house, especially considering that he was married to Lisa Marie. Exactly. 3 months that marriage lasted. So Elvis, or maybe somebody else, was their father-in-law for 3 months. And also, it's well known he's an Elvis fan. I even ran that scenario through AI, and it suggested that the likelihood of him selecting that specific house is extremely unusual, with odds that appear even less likely than winning the Powerball. So there you go. See, there's Bob Joyce content throughout, but there won't always be in the title. Won't always be a thumbnail. Let's give it a little rest, give the bastard some breathing room. And but if I have something, if there's a breaking news story, your concerns that you want to talk about, that's a different story. No, I have learned, don't make blanket statements, but I don't want to do it 11, 12 times a month. You know what I mean? Give it a rest sometimes. So thank you. All right, let's go to Australian secret country. This is just a fair use clip. It's from the Daily Mail. You can find this right here on YouTube, Daily Mail Australia. And Australia's secret county where insiders are banned. At least you have to be invited. You have to be invited. So let me get back to the live stream, and I'll show you some of the residents of the APY lands, that community in Australia. Of course, that won't flip for me. I don't understand. All right, I'll enlarge it a little bit. It won't even do that. Okay. Wish I could show it full length, but it's not letting me do it. But here's 3 of the residents of that part of Australia, a private community. So let's go to just a fair use clip of Australia's secret country where outsiders are banned from the Daily Mail right here on YouTube. Okay.
3.5 hours south of Alice Springs, a dirt track off the Stewart Highway ends at an old car bonnet with a hand-painted warning, "No visitors, no travel." This is the gateway to the APY lands. 103,000 square kilometres of country in the far northwest of South Australia, owned entirely by the Anangu Pitjantjatjara Yunkuchitjara people. Outsiders can't come here without a permit. Break the rule and you face a $2,000 fine, plus $500 for every extra day. It's a world unseen by most Australians. Just over 2,000 people live here, spread across 7 communities like Pukacha, Amata, and Freegon. Alcohol is banned. Unemployment hovers near 40%. Life expectancy is low. Pitjantjatjara remains the dominant language, and traditional healers still practice law passed down for thousands of years. On the edge of the lands once stood Minterby, a lawless opal town that in the 1980s was Australia's black opal capital. Even to this day, the unique shine and iridescence of Minterby's famed black opal is still talked about by experts and enthusiasts online.
So that's just a brief clip, Australia's secret country where outsiders are banned. So what do you guys think, Jackie and Helen? And who else is here right now? What is the Bob Barker? What? I've got to stop reading Neo Cold. What is the Bob Barker are you asking, Vinny? There's only one Neo, folks. There's only one. Good night, Michael. Todd is talking about the section with reflections on Lisa Marie when she was a baby toddler running around. It really touched my heart. Oh, goodness. It always amazes me how fast things go. Fast as 2 hours, which I have twice a week. So I like to buy body cream, and I like pumpkin. So Karen was looking for some for me, and we ran into this Bath and Body Works. This is from Bath and Body Works. Really? I'm shocked. It's sweet cinnamon pumpkin body cream. Got 2 of these tubes at a fairly reasonable price. Just came today. So put a little on my finger. It's a nice smell. Does it smell like pumpkin? Not even a little bit. Does it smell like cinnamon? Definitely not. It smells kind of like apples. It smells like apples. So that's better than no smell at all. I hate that, like that. What's that cream that begins with an N? There's no smell to it. I want it to have a smell. So it's nice, but it's not pumpkiny, and it's not cinnamony. Can't even say that. Yeah. Oh, let's see. I think I got through most everything. NBC poll. I'm just going to say this because I've never seen a poll like this in my life. And the fact that it's from NBC and how many people they polled and where were they when they polled and what have you. But since it's NBC, they would have been, I would think, they would go out of their way to get at least a voice of more than one group of people, But then again, they did limit this to GOP people. So the GOP poll that they took in terms of what's going on in Iran and President Trump in general, the pro Trump vote for this goes to the MAGA people, 100%, 100%. I've never heard a poll that someone got 100%. So I just thought that was interesting. Enough of that. Let's see. So I know you said in Australia you're having trouble. There's no flights, and they're having trouble everywhere. 300 plus people have quit the TSA in the last few weeks, and it's a long time to train and replace them, And people are realizing if their job is going to be used as a negotiating point for something else that they want, then they don't want that job because they're running out of tricks. They need a paycheck. These TSA agents work very hard and they need a paycheck. So they've been calling out sick. They can get in trouble if they do that. After a while, they can get in trouble for that. They don't want that either. They'd rather quit than be fined for calling out. But they have to feed their families and they have to pay their bills. So it's a shame that this is where we're at, but that's what happens these days. Here's Katina Swatsworth. I see you, Katina. She's saying hello to Todd. I was on for a short time earlier. I thought it may be over. You know me, Katina. 2 hours minimum usually, and we have gone longer than that. We have. It's good for my watch time hours, especially because, the fact that and watch time hours are calculated on YouTube for programmers. The fact that people would stay with me that long, and I'm not talking maybe 5%, but I'm talking maybe 60, 70% watch the whole show. And those that miss it now, don't go, says Elaine. Those who miss it now will watch the replay, and that's cool too. But if I don't put Bob in the title and what have you, he's in the title today just because I got such a big reaction to our video that lasted 20 minutes long. And that, of course, was major change in the Bob Joyce story approach. A lot of people commented on that. Really major change, which was the second title I gave it when the first wasn't garnishing much attention. All right. We go to Facebook and just check on that concert. Basically, what I'm saying is I just don't want to do that every single time. We'll talk about a variety of things. I think there's core people that have been here for me, and I just need to realize that if my pre-recorded videos don't do what they have been doing on occasion, like the new picture we showed of Bob Joyce, and we asked the question, is this Elvis at 91? That's got about 6,200 views. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to get, I couldn't believe it. There's this, I don't know if you guys know of whom I speak. She's on Facebook. She's right here on YouTube. She's on Instagram. It's her and her husband and their two little children. Addie McCracken is her name. Addie McCracken. Beautiful young lady who's only about 22, 23 years old. And, she does videos. In fact, I could look at some. But hold on. Let's see if I can find out anything about the concert. Maybe there's an update from Sabrina Joyce Beasley McDonald. Oh, I usually say McDonald Beasley. No, it's Sabrina Joyce Beasley McDonald. I got it now. Here's her Facebook page, which is at least partly public. They got a new policy at the church there. Interesting. Okay. Where is it? I'm looking for the posting on the concert. I must have went past it, or it's not up anymore. We'll see. Pastor Bob is coming to the Baptist Church in Cabot, Arkansas, not Maine, as I say in the video. Cabot, Arkansas on May 22nd. And now I don't see it. Isn't that odd? Isn't that? It's weird. We're talking about, by the way, the concert being on May 22nd at the First Baptist Union Church. I believe. I'm just looking one more time to make sure I'm not missing it. All right. I don't see it there. Let's go to bobjoyce.org. The new sermon is Time with the Lord from this past Sunday. All right. So I'll read it from here. Bob Joyce concert, May 22nd, 2026. Pastor Bob Joyce will have a concert on Friday evening, May 22nd, to benefit ABC FM. That's the Arkansas Baptist Church and Family Ministries at the First Baptist Church of Cabot, Arkansas. More details and ticket information can be found at donor / well, that's if you put the HTTP in there, donorbox.org / events. Oh, this is cumbersome. Are you kidding me? That's way too long, way too long. But if you click on it, it's not long at all. So just go on the bobjoyceorg.site and click on it, because other than that, it's cumbersome, cumbersome. There hasn't been an update since February 6th. The preferred seating is $100 for the benefit concert. And those seats have sold out, the preferred seating. General admission, $50 for the benefit concert, at least as of this posting, still available. Beware of scammers online. They're pretending to sell tickets. Do not buy tickets from any individual. Do not buy from anyone running a Facebook group, even if it claims to represent Pastor Bob Joyce. Scammers are always pretending to be part of Pastor Bob Joyce's ministry. Okay, so just go to bobjoyce.org, scroll down a little bit, and you'll be able to click on the link for tickets if they should still be available. I'm going to have to say goodnight. Pray for my right hand. It's been bothering me for a few weeks. Praying for everyone. God bless. Thank you, Katina. Thank you very, very much. And remember that. Tracy Spencer. Tracy Spencer. Do we have two Spencers now? Hi, everyone. Hi, Tracy. Where are you watching from? Where are you watching from tonight? A lot of times I feel content that I do is more for the replay crowd, because they're not in a chat room. They can just leave comments at the bottom of the video. So, I'm in mid-conversation between Vinny and Pam there. Thank you again, Pam Inslee. I see you saying goodbye there. You probably left by now. Thank you for hitting the thanks button. I appreciate that very, very much. Jody Smith, same thing. And Miles and Judy Wright. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's 63 watching still. 63 watching. Which game show, says Vinny, is it? Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. Yes, yes, yes. Drew Carey continues that legacy. It's a great job, because you only work like 39 days a year doing it. That's what the game show thing usually is. It's 5 shows a day, often on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, because the people who do the game shows have commitments during the week, like Steve Harvey, his talk show and what have you. He's into so many things. So they will do 5 shows on a Saturday and 5 shows on a Sunday. And there's 2 weeks right there in one particular 2-day period. And after the third show, the first audience usually will see 3 shows, 1, 2, 3. And they got to pause during each show, and they got to change clothes, Steve Harvey and everything. Got to change clothes. Can't be nobody can be wearing the same clothes twice, I guess. I don't know about the families, but they do 3 shows. Then they go to dinner, and then they do the Thursday, Friday show. And that's the joke, that Paul Lynde was always funnier on Thursday and Friday on the Hollywood Squares, because during dinner, he would enjoy some liquid beverage, but he would usually stay on the line of not being outright drunk, but he would be a little feeling good, on Thursday, Friday. So I must see Epic. I must. But it's been out long enough now. It won't be long before it'll be coming somewhere. I just don't know where. If it goes to Netflix, I don't have it. If it goes to Apple TV, which it won't, I don't have it. Nicole Kidman has a new series on Prime Video, Scarpetta. She's playing like a female Dexter, I think. I'm not sure. I only saw a little bit of the first episode. And saw some other good things. I can't remember what. Work tomorrow for Pam Donnelly. Oh, my goodness. She's still going at it. God bless you, Pam. Thanks for stopping by. So there you go. 59 watching. And see what this one is about. Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay. So if I ever say Cabot, Maine again, I meant Cabot, Arkansas. So pray for Katina's hand. Pray for Christari. He's got numerous issues. Pray for Kim. Brenda Sweeney. Trying to think of some of the others. Got to have a more pronounced list that I can just refer to. Looking through the good book. In the book of Romans. Romans chapter 5, beginning with verse 1 in the NIV. Therefore, since we have been justified through faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ. Through him we have gained access by faith into this grace in which we now stand. And we rejoice in the hope of the glory of God. Not only so, but we also rejoice in our sufferings. That's a hard one to wrap your head around sometimes. Our feelings, We rejoice in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not disappoint us because God has poured out his love into our hearts by the Holy Spirit, whom he has given to us. Amen. Tracy Spencer, she loves it there and has just visited Dublin for her birthday as it's on St. Patrick's Day. Huh. From Ireland, we have, her name is Linda, and she goes by Irish Music, right? Irish Music from Waterford. I always have a joke about Waterford for her when she's a replay person. It's too early or too late, however you want to look at it, in Ireland right now to get much of an audience. buffering, probably just me. I haven't had buffering in years, Vinny, since I was a little kid. I'm not buffering, I know that. But it's hard to say. Sometimes it's a local issue. We should have taken Todd's advice for ad-free. Yeah, Todd and Marty Greco says that too. $13.99 a month for YouTube Premium. $13.99 a month. I can't sleep. I'm watching from Branston, England. I've never heard of Branston. My mom was from Liverpool, and I've never been to England. Another one of those, it's a shame things. I don't have many countries on my bucket list. Italy would be nice. I want to say Arizona because I know people are waiting for me to say it. A little draconian there, isn't it? I don't know. And hot. You seem to have a very short winter, though. Very short winter. Oh, Amsterdam would be cool. I'm not really too keen on Ireland, but it's, I'm sure, very beautiful. Our friends have gone to Ireland. I always wanted to see England. Fish and chips and Sting. Well, you can get good fish and chips. Just meet us up at Maine in July, Todd. Get away from that southern heat and come up to Maine in July. And we'll have some great fish and chips up there. Yeah. Lobster roll, if you are so inclined. And delicious drinks and what have you. Like you can go to Shane's of Maine and get a lobster roll on a hot dog bun for like $9 or so. It's not all expensive like you think. We know how to do a cheap vacation. We have to know. So, Elaine. But love the cod. I like it in the beer batter dip. You know, I dipped in the beer batter and thrown into the fryer, or the haddock. I love that too. And so I'm not a huge lobster fan, but I'll have a nice lobster roll. Yeah. So we'll go around the Portland, Kennebunk area, Sanford, Maine. We want to try to get into Wells, Maine, because we have someone who used to work at the shop right here that we talk to all the time that transferred to a Hannaford in Wells, Maine. Her mom moved and she moved with her. So we have someone from Germany, or is that someone you're just mentioning? He sings great Elvis songs. Torben Aden from Germany. Karen lived in Germany when her husband was in the service. Lived there for quite a while. Faith without works is dead. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Elaine wants to know how many suitcases. Depends on whether you're flying or driving. You're way out there. You're way out there, Elaine. I can truly say that. You're way out there. You think you'd like England, Vinny? Why? Because of the music, or been to one pub, been to them all, haven't you? My son loves to go to Las Vegas. He does. But he says he's going to come visit me. So we're still working out whether he's coming here or I'm going there. But I would like to go to Texas. I would. You know. Right now, the airports are crazy, go nuts. And I don't have the enhanced license. You take a bus, which I used to do, to California back when I was a youngin'. You know, let's face it, you're going to run into some rough customers on those buses. You take a train, that same thing can happen, and it's very expensive, you know. If you want to sleep on the train in a berth, whatever they call it, in a sleeper cabin, the price triples. Say it's $500 to go from Penn Station in New York City to Austin, Texas, you're going to have a 3-hour layover in Chicago, change trains. It's going to cost you $502. But if you want a sleeper, it's $1,500. That's one way. Coming back, it's only $384, though. That's, of course, if you don't want a sleeper. If you do, probably be $1,400, $1,300, who knows. Jack can take the Knights bus, Knights of Columbus, or Knights of the Templar, or whatever you say. Oh, yes. Okay. I thought that's what you're referring to. Potter 3, Prisoners of Azkaban? I don't know. I guess you can tell that's not my genre of movie. So I've just extended the show a little bit so everybody gets their comments in. I would like to take the Knights bus. I think it would be safer than the bus out of Port Authority, you know? I think it would be a little safer. And so there's supposedly supposed to be 2 more Bob Joyce concerts this year. And that'll be sponsored by his managing company, LWC Media. As soon as I get a hint of what, where, and when, I'll let you know, okay? And, of course, just go to bobjoycemusic.com. You want to be first. You want an inside track. You want exclusive content. Go to bobjoycemusic.com and become a subscriber, a monthly subscriber for as little as $9.99 a month. Videos, exclusive videos, and things like that. And you'll really enjoy it. I think the new video that they've just put up is Somebody Bigger Than You and I, Pastor Bob Joyce at the piano. I remember that song. Might have been on Wayne Newton's gospel album in the 60s. When my mother bought that album, I hate to say this because his voice was very high, then I thought it was a woman. And then I found out it wasn't. And he got all macho on us. By the time he did Vegas Vacation, he was Mr. Macho, Mr. Las Vegas, of course. Thank you, Vinny, so much for coming on. Thank you. Thank you for hitting the Cash App. Thank you for that. Beautiful setting. Oh, retracted. And we still hold on to 54. Here's Sandra Fair at the very end. Pastor Bob amazes me, memorizing all that music and hardly ever looks at his notes when he preaches. Yeah. He seems to be looking at the music as he's playing the piano, and I can't help but what would happen if he just stood up more and someone else played the piano, you know. So good night, Vinny. I hope you're well. I'll get in touch with you. Thank you for the Cash App. I appreciate that. And thank you, everybody else. That is Worldwide Ramblings for Wednesday, the 18th of March, 2026. Been so wonderful talking with you. We'll be back on my 70th birthday. That'll be Saturday, the March 21st. I should be able to remember that. March 21st at about 9 o'clock at night. Vinny's still here. Good night, everyone, says Todd Bradshaw, the Tennessee Titan. Neo's former home is mostly gone. It was all bulldozed. So thank you for stopping by, Sandra. Hope you can join us Saturday night at 9 o'clock or thereabouts, East Coast time, for the next Worldwide Ramblings. Watch the replay here. Please subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. That would be swell. And share the shorter videos, the ones you see that are 20 or 30 minutes, if you dare, on your Facebook page or whatever, or somewhere else you may have. Share it if you can. That would be very much appreciated too. My personal email is jackthefairguy, F-A-I-R, jackthefairguy @gmail.com. Big God bless you. Bye-bye for now.